And so when people like Sunny Hostin and any other lowlife accuse people by virtue of their political party of wanting people to be killed, I spit in their faces.
So this is something that has kind of hit us at home here in Baltimore, Maryland, the Brooklyn Day mass shooting. So the mother of Brooklyn Home's mass shooting victim, Aaliyah Gonzalez, wept before a city council oversight hearing Wednesday of last week, leading many people in the chamber to tears as she described the pain of losing her daughter. Her emotional words came just hours after police arrested another teenager in connection to the July 2nd Brooklyn Day mass shooting right here in Baltimore.
Yep.
Brooklyn is a set area here in Baltimore City. This mass shooting was the largest in Baltimore's history. 28 people injured, mostly under the age of 18.
Yep.
Two killed in the shooting during the block party on July 2nd, and one of those that were killed was the daughter. Her name is Aaliyah Gonzalez. And her mother stood before our city council last week and gave a heartbreaking testimony of what she went through, how she found out that her daughter was murdered, and the aftermath. I want you guys to take a look at this. It's very tough to watch, but I asked you to watch it.
We're going to play the whole thing.
Yeah, we're going to play her testimony because she needs to be heard.
I know you said we're guests of honor. This is no honor. I appreciate the sentiment, but there's a million things I'd rather do than be here and talk about this. So we all know what happened, the Brooklyn Day shooting. This is a phrase that will repeat in my head rent-free for the rest of my life. I just turned 40 in June. I had no idea the next 40 years of my life would look really, really different. I had no idea. So Brooklyn Day happens. I have no idea what this event is. My daughter, Aaliyah, she's been all over the news, and every time I see her pretty face on the TV, I'm like, she's not supposed to be there. Aaliyah has been an AB student her entire life. I've always gotten a report card that says, congratulations, you're on the honor roll. Every single time, there's not one time I didn't see that on her report card. Aaliyah was so respectful. She was very age appropriate, and I hope you all know what that means. She wasn't out there twerking and doing all the things that we see. Aaliyah had a curfew her entire life. Not until she turned 18 in April. April 12th is her birthday. But until she graduated high school, she had a curfew at 11. She graduated high school 3 weeks prior to the shooting. 3 weeks earlier, we watched our baby. My husband can't be in here. He's so anxious right now. We watched her walk across the stage at Maryland Live and receive her high school diploma, something she worked very hard for, and something that we were so proud to see. I threw her a graduation party. All the family came out. I made her put on her cap and gown for the people who couldn't make the graduation, just so we could have pictures of her, because we were so proud. Aaliyah would have never been out that late. But here's the thing, she earned it. She did everything her father and I ever asked her for, and then some. She wanted to celebrate her accomplishments. She wanted to go out and kick off the summer and have fun. Those kids wanted to have fun. Again, I had no idea about this block party, but I will tell you what a mother experienced that night. We got a call, Aaliyah's been shot. Alex, they're lying. can't be Aaliyah. She was just here. As a matter of fact, before she left, I'll rewind a little bit. Aaliyah came in the house, and I heard her keys, so I met her in the hallway. I was sitting on my bed. And I met her in the hallway, and she just tilted her head to look at me. She said, "What's wrong, Mom?" And I said, "Nothing, baby. I'm just happy to see you," because I'm always happy to see her. She gave me a hug. We hugged each other. And I know now that was the Spirit telling me, go to her. Go to her. Later that night, she says, "Mom, I'm getting ready to leave. I love you, and I'll see you later." I don't think this is what she meant when I saw her later that night. Aaliyah's been shot. No, she hasn't. Alex, not Aaliyah. Not Aaliyah. They're lying. There's somebody else. But Creed, they are calling from her phone. I get on the scene. There's police tape. There's so many ambulances out there. But they tell my husband and I that everyone's going to Harbor Hospital. We get in my car. We run to Harbor Hospital as fast as we possibly could get there. And there was so many people there. So many kids. It was so chaotic. And my husband's at the desk, the receptionist, and he says, "Aaliyah Gonzalez, she has to be here." And he said, "Sir, she's not here." I said, "Listen, there's a lot of people. Maybe you haven't registered her, but they told me she would be here, so she has to be here." She's not there. My husband calls Aaliyah's phone back, and they say, "Sir, your daughter is still here at 807 Gretna Court. She's dead. She's still lying here on the ground." So we run back over from Harbor Hospital to 807 Gretna Court, and at this time, I'm not stopping for nobody. I'm pushing through people. I'm pushing through police officers. I've got to get to her. I've got to get to her. They told me she's here. And if I can, I would like to play a video from that night. I'm not sure if you can see, but you can certainly hear what I've experienced that night. That video, I hated that video. It got to my son. Before I could even call him, it was already on the internet. And I hated every part of that video. It shows my daughter laying on the stairs with a white sheet over her, and me knowing that was her because she would have called me a long time ago. She called me. She texts me 50,000 times a day. I didn't hear from her. I know that's her. And most of you, I don't know, I know some of you were on the scene with me. And see, what you don't know, I said, thank you very much. What you don't know is what grief does, because I can hear what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're saying. My daughter was just with me hours ago, and she's not dead. She's waiting for me to help her. She doesn't know you. Just let me get to her. See, that's what grief does. It makes you play these things that you know are not true or not reasonable. But she's waiting for me. So move, please. Let me get to her. I got on a scene. The police told me. We just found out about it today.
That was tough. She just graduated high school. Mother did everything right. straight A and B student. She didn't even generally let her hang out at night. But because she had graduated high school, she figured she would let her stay out a little longer. And that was the last time she saw her daughter. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And then you have people like Sunny Hostin will sit here and tell you that just because you are a you want to see people killed. A mother sends her daughter out to a party because she graduated, and that is the last time she ever sees her daughter. It's awful. It's awful.
AR-15s are weapons of mass destruction that should have no place in anyone's hands in this country. And if you vote Republican, I believe that you are complicit in that unless you are actively working day and night to change that within your party. It's
People, it's just hard to even say anything after hearing something like that. And so when people like Sunny Hostins and any other lowlife accuse people by virtue of their political party of wanting people to be killed, I spit in their faces. I don't think Sunny Hostin, I would bet that she's probably never heard the utter grief, the guttural cries of a mother or someone who's just lost a relative to violence. I have. I had an aunt who was murdered. Granted, it wasn't my child, thankfully. But nevertheless, I had an aunt who was murdered. And to this day, some 30 years later, I can still hear the phone call. I can still hear the guttural screams of my aunts, my uncles, my grandmother, her mother. I can still hear myself literally in my grandmother's house. Everybody, you can just hear it. You can imagine it, I guess. You can hear, I can hear the sounds. I can remember maybe what we were wearing, what we were saying, the disbelief. That lady's talking about grief plays tricks on your mind. Absolutely it does. Because when you see your loved one lying in a coffin, stiff, hard, in just 24 or 48 hours, you were just talking to them. People like Sunny Hostin and all the others who think or say what she does and accuse people by virtue of their political party of basically being killers and murderers, I spit on you. I would dance on your grave. That's how much I despise you. This woman lost her daughter, and nobody, no Republican, no 2A supporter killed her daughter. But guess who did? The low-life pieces of shit that the Democrats allow to run free and they don't prosecute and don't keep in jail. They're out there shooting people indiscriminately or maybe on purpose just because they have some kind of beef and they carry illegal firearms. This is what I say to people like Sunny Hostin. Again, I spit on you and I dance on your grave.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're here in Baltimore City. I mean, crime is rampant here in Baltimore City. We have very strict gun laws. What we don't have is consequences for people who break the law. And we have a leadership, leftist leadership. We did have a very leftist state's attorney here. She was not reelected, thank goodness. But I mean, this is what we see. But this woman, again, this was the largest mass shooting in Baltimore history. There were no protests. There were no marches. This didn't make national news like the George Floyd situation, someone who is committing crime he was in the pursuit of committing a crime and was arrested. And again, the police officer did aggressively arrest him. But did you hear the woman's testimony? A mother lost her child due to a mass shooting. Police didn't come. We here in Baltimore City with the police department, people don't even want to sign up anymore. Exactly. We're down police.
Right. Any parent, and I'm going to say good parents, but any parent, the worst nightmare you have is, well, at least one of two: losing your child before you, right? Or your child is in some place where you can't get to them. This is like a recurring universal theme that parents will have, dreaming it, thinking it, whatever. That is the worst fear. And for people, again, like Sunny Hostin, to take that fear, that instinct, and turn it into this political witch hunt, you bitch. Okay, I would tell you this to your face. Let me come on The View, or let me ever meet you and we had the chance to talk. I would say this to your goddamn face if I didn't punch you in it.
Yeah, so our prayers go out to that mother. There were 2 people shot that night, so and killed. There were actually 29 people were shot. And injured, I think, and 2 people were killed. So we will continue to bring you updates on the story. There were some arrests. The suspect is a 15-year-old boy. Police are not naming him because of his age. He is the 5th person in custody. Police said he had been arrested 2 weeks ago for a handgun violation. He faces 44 counts. No one has been arrested for the murder of Fagemi or Gonzalez, it says. Okay. Right. So
these are just 5 people they have in custody. And I want to say this about the 15-year-old in particular in relation to the laws that we have. Because of our leftist legislators in Annapolis, there's a law now that because he is a minor, he can't even be questioned by police without his parent and a lawyer. So the police can't even do their basic questioning that they would get from suspect information. So they have to have both, a parent and a lawyer. So if the lawyer is not there and the parent says, yes, you can talk to my child because, let's get some information. We want to find out who killed these people, who shot these innocent people. No, our lefty legislators in Annapolis say, no, you can't do that. You have to get both. Well, sometimes a parent can't afford a lawyer, right? So why can't you talk to the child there with their parent there, of course, because they're a minor? Why can't you do that? No, they want to protect the criminals again. Again, these are the kinds of people that align with the Democrats, but they accuse us. Again, I spit on your graves, and I would dance on your graves. I really would.